At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join Optavia, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the Optavia team.
Welcome to Optavia. I'm so happy you're an Optavian. It's so exciting, actually. What a great time in life to be on a call like this where you are going to learn and engage the habits of health. The habits of health that are going to give you, they're going to change your life. They are the structure that I have been living by for the last 7 years. So tonight we are going to break down element 19 that's in your life book. Who loves their life book? Yes, so good. I mean, it's intended for you to be able to take a year of your life and really journey through creating a life. And every element is a different habit that you can create. And so tonight we're going to talk about how do you create healthy sleep and unlimited energy. I mean, how do we do that, right? Well, Dr. Anderson speaks to this in element 19, and I'm going to help break it down for you a little bit. Again, my name is Jen Jones, and oh goodness, what did I do here? There we go. And this is me, and this is my husband. He's going to be joining us in a bit for the stories of transformation. But I'm truly excited to talk about this particular topic. And here's why. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a minute so that I can see you guys in the chat. Please, I encourage you as we're talking, the goal here is for you to connect in community. So use the chat. I would love to hear from you. I would love, if something resonates, like give it some love. Yeah, give it some love. Share how it resonates with you or how it's impacting you. It's so important to connect in community. And tonight, I think that we're talking about a topic that is really relevant because we're living in times right now where our energy levels can be hard to manage. They can be hard to manage with some of the stresses, some of the different situations and circumstances that we're carrying, but element 19 is going to talk to us, and I'm going to break it down for you in such a way that says it doesn't matter what's happening externally. I have control, and I can take the power in this area and really create some incredible sleep patterns and manage my energy. So really in these times, it's our energy levels rather than our time management that really sets us up for success. And we're going to be instilling both of those habits tonight. We're going to set you up for success. When your energy and your sense of well-being is in a high position to begin your day on the right trajectory, meaning we're going to talk about how to be early to rise and excited to be up and about and ready for your day, you're setting yourself up for optimal health. And this is a highly engaged and productive kind of day that we're going to help you structure. Element 19 talks about how we can begin our days and end our days in such a way that we are accomplishing in our days what is most important to us. I mean, come on. You want that kind of life? You know, the one that's created, that you have the energy to create the life that you love around the things that are most important to you so that your day concludes with deep satisfaction. So if you will own this new and vital element 19, If you will own it in your story, I'm telling you, you can redesign and you can create your routine to install these new habits that will permit your body and your mind operating a system that's going to help you run at its highest efficiency. I personally want to be like a high efficient, well-oiled machine. I believe I was created to do that, and it's up to me now to take control of these different areas of my life so that I can really propel forward. I know all of us said yes to Optavia, and we have joined this community because we want our lives to be propelled forward toward optimal health, becoming the highest version of ourselves. And you know, my own personal journey has been one of different kinds of seasons and different challenges that I face, right? We all have different seasons and different challenges that we face, but it's my desire to live with joy and capacity to serve the people I love and live a life that's making a difference. Do you want that? Do you want that tonight? Just say yes if you want it. Yes, because this is what we're going to break down. Yes, I see you. I see you. Sold. All right. So the quality of your sleep and the cycle by which we manage our energy, that's been a key component for me in my overall success and my overall desires in life. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I see all you guys coming in with a yes. I know, right? Well, this is what we get to create. So here it is. Let me share with you again. Here we go. Ready to break it down. Element 19. But first, I would love to know, I probably went too quick through that. Which describes you best right now? Are you an Optavia coach? Are you an Optavia client? Are you a guest? Can you just let us know right now so I know even more who I'm talking to? And if you're in Hong Kong or Singapore, or if you're US, I'd love to know. That would be super helpful. Thank you so much for that. So now we know everybody, look, isn't this great? All across the country, all over the world, we're gonna all manage our sleep better. Okay, now the next question I have for you in this Habits of Health transformational system, I would love to know, let me know here, what's your favorite element so far? You got your life book, you got the app, you got the Dr. A Habits of Health. Let me know, tell me, I would love to know, what is your favorite element so far of all the things? Yep. Thank you for sharing these things. It's so helpful to see. Where honestly, I think sometimes what is our favorite is what's meeting us at our greatest point of need. And then that like impacts us and it helps us to reach our potential. So that's so great. Okay, so now in element 19, we are going to talk about the mindset. We're going to understand why energy management is vital to our optimal health. We're going to talk skill set, right? So we're going to learn the strategies to really optimize our sleep and our energy management to accelerate your progress, which all of you were like, yes, 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 help me with that. And then we're going to take some action. We're going to give action steps to adopt these habits of energy management to create more optimal days. How's that sound? Good to me. I'm ready. Let's do this. So we had Dr. Anderson. He's right. He has helped me actually so much in so many regards, but I will tell you, I was the kind of girl when it came to my sleep before I was an Optavian. I didn't have great routines, partly because I allowed the season of my life and the circumstances of my life to dominate, because I didn't have a good structure and I didn't take control in this area of my life. And so Dr. Anderson, I'm going to just read this for you. I know you can see it yourself, but for those of you who are listening in, I want you to hear. See, this is what Dr. Anderson says about the sleep and the mindset here. Sleep is your body's way of restoring organ function, stabilizing chemical imbalance, refreshing areas of the brain that control mood and behavior, and improving performance. Wow. You need sleep, guys. You need sleep for your brain, for your mood, for the way that you act, and for overall well-being and performance. Vital. So I want you to take a look at this first, if you can see this slide with me, but I'm going to read it out for you. This is really the habits of health. This is the skill set right here. It's the habits of health, sleep and energy clock. You can also find this on, I believe it's on page like 391 in your life book. But truly, getting 8 hours of sleep is very important. It's really important. Now, you decide, here's where you get to take control and you have the power. You get to decide what time you need to wake up and meet the world based on your life needs. That's going to look a little different for all of us because you know your circumstances are a little different than mine. I know for me, my life's needs, and it requires me to be up and ready to tackle the day at around 6 a.m. 6 a.m. So you decide what time the world needs you to wake up, and then you count 8 hours back. And that's the time that you need to hit the sack. That's the time you need to call it a night and go to sleep. So for me, that's really no later than 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is the time that I need to go to sleep if I'm gonna wake up ready to meet the world and have the kind of life that we were describing, that Dr. Anderson says that we can have when we really hone in our sleep habit. And this really does set us up with the rhythms for what would be considered sacred, uninterrupted time allotted for your healthy habit of sleep. And this is on page 391 in your life book if you want to look at that later, or if you have it with you, you want to open it right now. But this is really the sacred cycle that you need to give you the uninterrupted good sleep that your body needs so that you can live a high performance life during the day. Now, here's the thing. Today, I said today because that's really the only day that you have control over. And hello 2020. If 2020 hasn't proven to us that today is the only day that we have control over, I don't know what will, right? So we're gonna build in this automatic clock. So for me, 10 to 6 is pretty automatic. I'm ready by 10 o'clock, and we're gonna talk about this twilight hour here in a second. But 10 o'clock, my body's like, and shut down. Because I've been doing this over a course of really years now. And then honestly, I don't even need an alarm clock anymore. My body is like 6 a.m. rise and shine, ready to go. And it is because of these 2 periods, both right before I go to bed and then right after I wake up. And they're really, really important. And this is really, it's what's gonna allow you to make a lifelong transformation, one habit at a time, as it relates to your sleep. So it's important to really realize that the evening and the morning routine are the time that we actually have the most control over our day. So we're gonna talk a little bit about this twilight hour, the hour before you go to bed. So for me, it's around 9 o'clock. This is my twilight hour, and it is so important because I actually have power over this hour, and I have a lot of power over the hour after I wake up. Once the day gets rolling, our ability to control our schedules gets real limited real quick. So I want to talk to you about this hour before. And there is a transition at night that looks like basically kind of a winding down before you sleep. It's like you've been going, then you're transitioning, then you're sleeping. Now, if it seems super structured, that's because it is. Because if there's anything that you have learned so far as an Octavian and as you go through your life book, we have to allow our structure to determine, to create these habits and determine our behavior. If not, our life gets in the way and we sabotage ourselves. So for those of you who can see this screen right now, you know, an hour before, it's when you put the kids to bed, if you have kids, or you put the dogs in well, I put my dog in the crate. For those of you who don't crate your dog, I don't know, whatever you do with your dog, but you really start to get things wound down, I don't know, whatever the word would be. Maybe you take a hot bath. You make sure your thermostat in your home is like at 68 degrees. You're gonna clean up clutter around the house. You're gonna shut down the TV, turn off your cell phone, put it at least in silent mode or something, put it away. If you have medications or things that have to be handled, that's when you do all of that. And truthfully, I will tell you, this is the hour, and I know we're all habit of health, trying to get our water in with our good nutrition plan, but this is really when you wanna like kind of avoid any of those things. And then 30 minutes before, that's when you do some of those self-care. You know, you brush your teeth, you really are cooling down. Some of you might want to use different aromas like jasmine or lavender or chamomile or something that's just calming, very calming, and begin kind of breathing to relax yourself. And then the last 15 minutes before you go to put your head on that pillow, that's when you take a moment to like journal out your thoughts, clear your mind, put your entries into your life book, really kind of get the things pen to paper out of your mind so that you're clear-headed. And perhaps you want to do that deep breathing or the meditation, gratitude, and you just want to make sure that the room is, you're setting the tone for tranquility and a night of sleep. And then you're in bed, you get in bed, put your head on your pillow. If you are married, that's when you are going to say, hey, I love you, baby, kiss goodnight, and you shut it down. And that's really what the evening, that hour that you need to create. The morning looks a little bit different. The morning, you're going to go from sleep, transition to go mode. And so the things that your morning hour, and again, all of these things are in your life book. And I really encourage you to take a look at these model mornings and twilight hours, the model mornings on page 391 as well. But this is when you like are getting out of the bed. You want to, like, of course, you probably have to go to the bathroom, but then after that, it's like, open up. Yeah, you know, put on those workout clothes because you're going to do that habit of motion. And then you're going to really begin your day with gratitude. This is when a lot of you will begin to have that desired outcome of like journaling and begin to optimize your day. What do I have set out for me? Maybe read in your life book or something else, in addition to something else that's really encouraging you and inputting into you so that you are setting your trajectory in a great mindset. Many of you, a next great step to get from that transition into go mode would be do some activity. It doesn't have to be, you know, full hour workout. It can be 5 to 10 minutes of just stretching or walking, a form of exercise. Then get ready, get showered, do that personal hygiene. And in that, really that short amount of time, you've gone from sleeping to here I go world, and you're fully conscious and you are ready to rock and optimize your day. Those are 2 hours beginning to end that really will set you up for incredible success. So I want to know really quickly here, how many hours of sleep do you get per night? Love to know. There's a poll for you there. How many hours of sleep do you get per night? Maybe more than 8 hours. Maybe you get 7 to 8 hours. Maybe it's 6 to 7. Or maybe it's less than 6. But how many hours of sleep do you get per night? And I'm going to head on over to this quote here as you are taking that poll. It says that research shows, so I know you're still voting how many hours you get, but research shows that people who have fewer than 6 hours of sleep had a higher likelihood of becoming obese. Our sleep directly impacts our physical health in a major way, Less than 6 hours of sleep, and we are more likely to become obese. So I'd love to know what the results are. I think we're gonna head over here in a second, but what are the results of that poll? Wow. Hey, you guys, we're doing pretty good here. 38%, well, let's just start with the top. More than 8 hours, 7% of you. 7 to 8 hours, 39% of you, or 38% of you. 6 to 7 hours, 39%, and less than 6 hours, 16%. Not bad, guys. You're doing pretty good. I want to head over down to actually San Diego and bring on Optavia health coach, Jeremy Nix. Jeremy, are you there?
I am, and I'm so grateful to be able to share a little bit of my story of transformation and what sleep has meant to me. I started my journey with Optavia 3 years ago, and like so many people that are like me, I was like, I just need to lose some weight and I'll be fine. Can you just help me lose some weight? And my coach said, well, yes, you're going to lose some weight. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I found out at a pretty fast pace because of things like our life book. I found out at a really fast pace what true health is all about. And I'm so grateful for my coach, for Optavia, and for Dr. Anderson, because yes, I lost weight, but I got healthy. At the time, I was a first responder and I was working the streets and working shift work. And I don't know if you know what shift work is, but really what it means is your days and your nights, they run together. And I was on nights. And while I was trying to lose weight, what I didn't realize is so much of that was being disrupted from the fact that I was getting literally less than 2 hours of sleep every single day, because I'd come home at 2:30 in the morning. I'd try and get to bed. But by the time I really could close my eyes and get rid of the day and all the things that had happened throughout my day, through watching television, trying to decompress from my day, through having something to drink to decompress from my day, no one to talk to because everyone else was asleep, but doing paces around my couch to decompress from my day. Finally, by about 4 o'clock in the morning, I would close my eyes to catch a quick nap. And then, without fail, I was up by about 6:30 that same morning. And then I'd try and fall back to sleep, and I'd sleep for maybe 15 minutes, and then I was up again. And then again down, and then up and down, but never rested, never ready to go. That go hour that Dr. Anderson talks about, didn't even know that existed. And through our program, number one, as my body started getting healthy, as you are guaranteed to experience or are experiencing, right? As our bodies start getting healthy, suddenly I felt myself wanting to fall asleep and wanting to get rest and wanting more. And it became easier for me to actually fall asleep when I get home. But here's what I felt when we talked about healthy sleep. I kind of wondered sometimes, well, how am I supposed to do that? I'm on shift work. I can't control the hours that I work. I'm glad that everybody else gets to go to bed at 10 p.m. That's just when my night's starting. But here's what I learned as I was going through these habits of health. I may not be able to control my hours of work, but I could control the way I chose to rest and the environment when it was time to rest. And I began to take steps to change my environment. I began to take steps to stop all the clutter so that I could find rest. That looked like not coming home and trying to detox to Netflix or whatever streaming service I was watching at the time. That meant I came home, I took breaths, I would take a moment to just decompress and let myself breathe for that moment at 2:30 in the morning. I sat on the edge of my bed oftentimes while my wife was sleeping, and I would just breathe. It meant turning my phone not just off, but upside down and all the things and pushing it away so that the lights and the sounds wouldn't disrupt me. It meant closing out all my blinds so that I could make sure the morning light wouldn't impact me. And in that moment of just taking those things that I could control, my environment, the architecture of my bedroom, I found myself falling asleep by about 3 o'clock in that morning. And what was really great is I started not waking up until 7:30, 8:30, and pretty soon I was getting a full 7 hours of sleep, which I hadn't had in over 5 years. And to me, that was I didn't even know I was missing it. That's when I started feeling healthy. That's when I started feeling good. The combination of the physical transformation mixed with my decisions to make changes in my environment so that I could control the things I could control is really where I saw a turnaround in the rest of my health as well. So I'm so grateful for the tips about changing our environment so that we can get healthy. And now I take it real serious, and I'm no longer working as a first responder in that way. And so I get to come home, I get to decompress with my family, and we get to have our twilight hour, and now we get to have that 7, 8, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes 9 or 10 hours. And I'm so grateful for that. That's my story.
I love it, Jeremy. Thank you so much. And if all goes well, guys, this can be your story too. So I just want to quickly give you these tips for healthier sleep that Jeremy so defined. Avoid caffeine. Really avoid caffeine. Avoid exercise. I mean caffeine and alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. Avoid exercise within 4 hours of bedtime. Maybe meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. Jeremy talked about some of that breathing and also removing all the electronics and things from your bedroom, and the temperature. The temperature actually really, really matters. So I want to move to this cycle right here, because even if things don't all go well, like Jeremy described, all is not lost. Because our body, and this is going to be on page 401 in your life book, we have this Ultradian cycle. And essentially, this just illustrates when our stress hormones are released and how they affect both our productivity and our health, okay? And so as you look at this, just look at the red in those that's just gonna be in the rhythms. It said, well, basically, let me just share with you, I'm gonna read it. It says, within our waking hours, we have 90-minute cycles called ultradian rhythms, which is similar to our nightly REM cycles. That probably sounds familiar. The rhythm is the equivalent daytime cycle needed to have effective attention and focus. During the day, we move from higher to lower alertness. When we need a rest, our body signals us with hunger, drowsiness, fidgetness, or loss of focus when we need rest, right? So we generally override the body's need to rest with caffeine, foods high in sugar, and simple high glycemic carbs. That's what we tend to do. And then our bodies on their own, they produce stress hormones like adrenaline and non-noradrenaline and cortisol. That's all in page 400. That's the stuff we want to try to avoid, right? So we want to pay attention to when our body is doing that. So instead of moving to those things to help us feel better, we actually move to things like passive rest, which would be a power nap, or active rest, which is like deep breathing or stretching or mentally meditating, practicing gratitude, connecting with a friend or family member. And spiritually, you can pray instead of eating or drinking more caffeine or doing those things. So there's something that's really important I want you to look at, and it's on page, it's in your life book between pages, I think it's on page 403. Actually, it's 407. This is an energy ruler. So now that you know this, over the course of the next week, I want you to pay attention and be aware for the next 4 days. When are you most alert? And also, when are you the lowest? And what is your temptation? What do you tend to want to do? Do you want to eat foods that are high in sugar? You want to drink caffeine? I want you to pay attention. This is part of your action. And now I want to go to someone who is managing her energy so well in this season. And it is so because she has rocked her habits of health. I want to introduce you to certified health coach, Tori. Tori, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Jen. Hi, everybody. My name is Tori Macey, and I am just so honored to be here to share with you guys the impact that this amazing program has had on my personal life. Prior to me experiencing program, I had told my coach, I am just excited to lose weight. And that's basically the only thing that I was hoping that I could achieve in my transformation. And the next thing that I knew, I started gaining my life back. I personally have struggled the majority of my adult life with depression. And for anybody that suffers with that, sleep is a big part of that. I would sleep so many hours in the night. And then as soon as I would wake up, the first thing that I wanted to do was go right back to bed. And I never felt refreshed. I never felt like I was having enough energy to get through the day. I either had to be full of caffeine or fueling myself with sugar in order to be able to just manage my day. And little did I know that this program was literally going to transform my life from the inside out. I had no idea that restorative sleep, what it could do for a person. And for many, many years, 5 years actually, I missed out on sending my children off to school. And as a mother, I had a lot of regrets of that. But depression was so deep within me that I could not bear to get up out of bed because I was so down on my life. And all of a sudden, this program, this nutrition, this amazing life book, I was waking up before an alarm. That never in my life had happened before. I had had many mentors tell me before that the worst thing that you can do is cancel on yourself. Did you know when you hit snooze, you're canceling an appointment that you set up for yourself? And for the very first time, I was no longer hitting that snooze button. And I remember the very first time that I woke up before my alarm clock and I felt so refreshed and just full of energy. And I'm like, what is this? Well, the next thing you know, my kids are seeing me wake up before them and they're seeing me making my daily pancakes. They're like, hey, Mom, do you think you can make us pancakes too? And I just felt so honored and so blessed to be my children's mother and be able to do that. And so I want to thank Optavia for changing my life and for me able to be able to make pancakes for my kids every single day. It's really given me my life back.
Tori, wow. I mean, the chat is blowing up. Thank you for sharing so authentically. So many people connected with that. I'm so grateful that you said yes. And I know now you're paying it forward to so many. And I love how you just shared truly, it is nutrition, but it's the whole package and how this has really impacted you beyond weight loss. And that's the goal, and that there is hope. And so I know some of you are even like, man, I'm a little depressed. Man, there is hope. And I just want to share with you these last, I just want to ask you right now that you've heard Tori and you're so inspired, what action are you going to take as a result of this element tonight? I don't think anyone could have said it any better than Tori about how powerful creating this habit can be for your whole life. So what action are you going to take? This is key, that you've been deposited in. It's go time. What are you going to do? Because there is an incredible, don't push snooze on your life. Don't push snooze on your life. There's a incredible life. The best version of you can show up on the other side of that snooze button. So what are you going to do? And then if you don't mind helping us out here, would you just share, how did you enjoy this community time tonight? I mean, I had fun. And I loved hearing from Jeremy and Tori. Was it excellent for you? Was it very good, below average? Was it poor? Please share with us. We'd love to know how it was for you tonight. I just want to thank you so much. Don't forget, these are the ways that you can always connect with us by texting Optavia 30 to 99000. This is also on Optavia's YouTube, so go subscribe. And I'm just so honored to have been with you. And now we're getting ready to move into our, you can join us next week. Oh yes, next week is huge. I've got to tell you, next week is, it's going to be a health and hope night. And the one and only Dr. Anderson is going to be here with us with the one and only Charlene Green. And so I'm excited for you guys to get to participate in that. So don't miss next week. It's going to be an incredible time together.
At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining Optavia. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the U.S., please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.